going to talk about Think Your Drink and just some of the sugar that you can find in beverages. So my name is Cindy Martinez. I am a 4-H Associate Extension Educator, also known as Senior Instructor. I am split between both Ada and Canyon County, but my office is in Ada County. So if you're ever in the area, feel free to drop by. And with me, we have Bridget Morrisroe-Amon. She is a Family and Consumer Sciences Educator, and she is located in Ada County. She's going to help me with the chat today, and as well as with any tech issues. So hopefully we don't have any tech issues today. If you have any questions at all during the presentation, feel free to drop them in the chat, and then Bridget will let me know towards the end of the presentation, and then we can address those. And then if you are not familiar with extension, so extension is we provide reliable research-based education and information to help people, businesses, and communities solve problems, develop skills, and build a better future. So today we're going to highlight a video from our Department of Soil and Water Systems. So hopefully the audio works on my end. If not, just let me know.
University of Idaho Extension is working to ensure a safe and stable supply of water for all Idahoans. From water quality monitoring to watershed ecosystems, irrigation, water management, and hydrology, UI Extension is helping to protect our water for the future.
So, like I mentioned, I am located in both Ada and Canyon County. So some of the programs that we have in these counties include Leadership Club. So they meet out at Caldwell Housing Authority on Fridays. And then we have Soccer for Success, which is a fairly new program this year. And that is through the Walmart Foundation grant. And then we have our 4-H Healthy Habits program as well. And then we have Yoga for Kids. And we try to incorporate healthy habits into both Soccer for Success and yoga, so the kids get to do a physical activity component, and then they get to do a nutrition lesson and a hands-on snack. And then new to Canyon County and Ada County, we do have a circuitry STEM program in our area. And then we received an Idaho STEM Action Center grant through the STEM Action Center to put on an Edison robotics program. And so you can see some of the pictures here from some of the programs that we have hosted. Just monitoring that chat. And so what I would love for our participants to do is we're going to do a quick scavenger hunt. So I would love for you to find your beverage of choice. So this is your favorite beverage that, you know, you have a long day at work and that's like your to-go beverage. And then I want you to find a clear cup, container, or bowl. Preferably a cup just for visualization, and then some sugar. It doesn't have to be a lot. And then I say about a cup of sugar should be more than enough. And then I want you to look for a teaspoon. So I'll give you about a minute to go look for those items. If you're not in your house, you know, we can definitely improvise. Give you a couple more seconds. So I think we're ready. So if you have those items, we're actually going to, here we go. So hopefully you can see this. So we're going to actually take a look at your drink. So my beverage of choice is this dark cola. So we're going to figure out how much sugar is in this. So we want you to find your nutrition label. So it's on this, typically on the side of your beverage right here. As you can see, mine's already on the PowerPoint slide just for easy visual. It's really hard to see these. So I want you to pay attention to the serving size. So you can see that my serving size is 1 bottle. So this is a 20-ounce bottle. And then if you look at, you can look at the calories too, if you would like. So that's 240 calories for this beverage of choice. And then this beverage has 65 grams of sugar. And so I'll show you a visualization of what that is. And so if you're looking at your beverage, making sure that you find that serving size. Here's another good example too. This chocolate milk is actually 2 serving sizes, so hopefully you can see this.
Unmuted, so they can...
Thank you. So hopefully you can see this, and then you will measure out the sugar for your beverage. So, so you have 65 grams, and so we're actually going to convert this and figure out how many teaspoons of sugar that is. So 1 teaspoon is 4.2 grams of sugar. So you'll take that 65 grams and divide it by that 4.2 grams of sugar. And so that'll give you about 15 and a half teaspoons. So I want you to go ahead and measure your specific beverage while I measure mine too. And then hopefully you guys feel comfortable turning on your camera, and we can share and see what your beverage of choice is compared to your sugar amount. So mine is almost 16. This is how much sugar is in my beverage. So for reference, this is an 18-ounce clear container, clear cup, and this is a 20-ounce beverage. So when you hold these up, you can see how much sugar is in just this dark beverage. So if you feel comfortable, please turn on your camera and let me see what beverage you have and if you counted. If you found out your amount of sugar. If not, that's okay. I have some other ones that I can demo. So then the next example that I have, since I already shared it, is our chocolate milk. So remember I said this is 2 servings. So we hope, typically someone would probably drink that whole thing. So this is how much sugar is in this guy compared to the container. So here we go.
So Cindy, we have not measured out the sugar because my son cannot find a container, which is so easy. But
okay.
He likes Capri Sun. And so on the Capri Sun box, it does say 13 grams of sugar. Oh, per pouch. And he wanted 2 of them. So not just 1, 2.
So 26.
So 26, which is equivalent to about 3 tablespoons and a little bit more of sugar.
So I don't have the exact brand that you have, but I do have this fruit punch pouch, and it is 1 serving. And then this is a baggie. There we go. This is a baggie of sugar that goes with it. So this is 1 serving. So, and this is 33 grams of sugar for this 1 container. Yeah. That's crazy, right?
It was a little bit better than, not exactly better.
Yeah. So hopefully you all got to participate and were able to do that. If not, you can always do that at home now that you know the conversion to get that. So what we're going to do is we're going to play a quick game. And then so it's just called Stop, Slow, Go, which I need to slow down. So I will do is hold up a beverage, and then you can tell me if you think in the chat if it's a stop, slow, or go. So our stop are like those occasional treats, you have them when you go out to dinner with your family or a birthday party. A slow is, they're okay to drink. They don't have too much sugar in them. And then our go keep us hydrated. They don't have sugar, or maybe they do have a little bit of natural sugar, but they provide like calcium and other nutrients. So my first one that I'm going to hold up is our chocolate milk. So in the chat, if you would all like to let me know what you think. And then our chocolate milk has, this one doesn't say it, but like I mentioned, this one has, let me find it. This one has 60 grams of sugar for the whole container, and that's 2 servings. Yellow. And then we have our light beverage. So this one has 77 grams of sugar. So let me know what you all think. Awesome, Kathy. Thank you. And then we have 100% fruit juice. So this means it does have some natural sugar in it. And this is how much sugar this beverage has, and it's 22 grams. So this one I would say is a slow. It does have some sugar, but it has that natural sugar in it. And then the updated nutrition label is actually down at the bottom of where your sugar section is right here, if you can see it, hopefully. It will have additional sugar or added sugar, and that just means it's not natural sugar in your product. And then our fruit punch. So this guy right here, if you would all classify that real quick. And then I would mark this one probably as a stop because mine has a lot more sugar than some of yours does. And then our popular, the one we want you to drink all the time, is our water. I hope you all classify this as green. And then we do have some other items here on the poster, so you can check them out. And it's always fun to measure out the sugar with youth or anyone, any participant in general, just to see that, you know, that you're paying attention to those sugar amounts. And yes, we do want to make sure that you're hydrated, you're drinking water. If you're someone that doesn't drink as much water as you would like, you could always try infusing water with fruit. I love to put cucumbers and lime in mine. I know we do a lot of berry infusions for like our diabetes classes when I used to help Bridget with her diabetes classes. And so on. So Bridget's going to help me do a quick transition. So in the chat, please tell us what changes you plan to make this week now that you know how to find the sugar amounts in your beverage. And then I'm going to have Bridget share her water bottle infographic while I transition into the kitchen.
Thank you, Cindy. So as she transitions to set up to do the demo, I told her I would talk a little bit about an infographic that I created. I worked with some extension educators to do a middle school research project. We went in and talked to middle school youth about using water bottles. And this is the infographic that we developed. I'll bring it up right here. It was about water cleaning tips. And I believe you all got this in your folder. It was downloadable and just talked about how to wash the reusable water bottles every single day with warm soapy water, rinse them, leave them to dry unless they're dishwasher safe. You could put them in the dishwasher, and to sanitize once a week, and do that with a half teaspoon of bleach. It needs a half teaspoon to 4 cups of water. You'd put that in a clean sink or a dish pan, and you would submerge your water bottle in there after it's been washed and rinsed, then sanitize, and then you would leave it out to dry at least once a week. And also talk to youth about not sharing their water bottles. In addition to that, I also published this bulletin that talks about the recommendations for staying hydrated, why you need to drink water, how much you need to drink, and safe sources of water and other food sources that provide hydration. So just for your resources, I'll put that link into the chat so you can access it. But again, I'm looking here to see, are there any changes based on what you've learned so far with Think Your Drink that you plan to make this week? If you want to put them in the chat or just share. I see someone's been using more sugar-free choices, infused waters. What about, if you look at the bulletin, it talks about the recommendations for water. Does anybody need to try to just drink more water this week with the weather the way it is, being as hot as it is? Okay, it looks like Cindy is ready to go. I'll go ahead and put the link to that bulletin in here if you guys want to access it for more information about how to stay hydrated safely.
Thank you, Bridget, for helping me with the transition. So hopefully you all have this recipe with you. You can do this with me, along with me. I will try not to go too quickly, but you should have this. If not, let me know and I can always send it to you again. So what I like to do is, this is not in your recipe, but sometimes what happens is like the blender gets stuck. So I will just add a little splash of milk just to get the blender going. And then I used the milk. And then our next ingredient is frozen berries. So I just went to the frozen aisle and grabbed some frozen berries. I had some raspberries from my garden. I should have brought those and I totally spaced it, but that's okay. So I pre-measured all these ingredients. So this is 1.5 cups of berries. Be careful because they stain. And then we will add our yogurt. So this is 2 cups of yogurt. And then I'll show you real quickly which yogurt I like to use. So we actually found a yogurt that we like to use for our classes, especially when we make like a peanut butter dip. So this one is called Too Good. And when I compared it to other yogurt brands, this one only has 2 grams of sugar for every serving, compared to some of the other ones. They have about 26 grams of sugar. So this is a really good alternative if you're trying to watch your sugar even with yogurt. And then the next item, we have 1.5 large bananas, but I'm gonna go ahead and put in both of my bananas just because they're medium and I don't want to waste the banana. We're gonna dump it in here, break it up. And then my secret ingredient, you can put spinach in it if you would like. What I typically do when we do Think Your Drink with youth is we make a batch. The first batch will just be like this, how we have it right now. And then we'll make a second batch just with spinach in it. So I'm just gonna go ahead and put the spinach in it. There's about a cup of spinach in here. If you love spinach, go ahead and add more. I'm going to blend this up. Make sure that your blender is locked in, your lid is locked in. Another recommendation is you may need to add a little bit more milk in it. I'm actually gonna hit the mute button so that you don't hear that annoying blender noise.
And as she's blending, I'm going to talk about the difference between natural sugar, and someone had asked a question. So I'm going to go ahead and discuss that. So I'm looking, someone said, is there a difference between the sugar that's found in natural fruit juice and the sugar in pops or other drinks? So yes, if you look at your food label, you'll often see where it says, sometimes they're including added sugar. So if it says added sugar on the nutrition facts label, that means that sugar that's been added. It's not what's naturally found in the beverage. So in some of our natural, like 100% fruit juice or 100% apple juice or whole white milk or 2% or 1%, there's usually not added sugar. But in other things, such as some of our soda pops, some of our fruit punches that may not be all natural juice, and also sometimes even in our chocolate milk, there's added sugar to give it that flavor. And so what you do know from research is that added sugar tends to be a little less, our body tends to react to it a little more. It gives us a higher blood sugar, and it's not as healthy for us. So natural sugar is a much better option. However, we also need to watch natural sugar. Sugar is sugar, but there is a difference between the naturally occurring sugar in fruit juices and milk, and then the added sugar. So look on your label for that added sugar, and you'll know if there's been sugar added versus the naturally occurring sugar in a fruit juice or in milk or some other beverage that has naturally occurring sugar.
Thank you, Bridget. So now that you have your fruit smoothie ready, this makes about 6 servings. You can see that I added some spinach, but you really can't see that it changed the color or anything. So it's just nice, pretty purple beverage. And then with the really hot temperatures, what you could also do is put a popsicle stick in here. If you don't have popsicle sticks, you can improvise and put like a plastic spoon or fork and make a really nice frozen treat, especially for this really hot weather. So yeah, if you have any leftovers, you can do that. Typically I don't have leftovers because this is really good. Most of our youth participants always ask for seconds, especially when we serve the spinach one too. They really seem to enjoy it. And then what I'm gonna do, so hopefully you were able to hear and catch all that. So what I'm gonna do is transition to our slide deck so you guys can take the survey. Thank you for joining us today. Again, if you have any questions, just let me know in the chat, and then I'll switch to the survey real quick.
Okay, and we can also open it up right now. Are you okay with that, Cindy, if people want to ask questions?
Yeah,
live? So if you want to unmute yourself or type a question into the chat, we can address those. So I see here, Serena's asked, she said, I appreciate you sharing about simplicity. There's eye-catching, especially when you think about sugar being something we drink, not eat. What about all the sugar we could be eating on top of the sugar we are drinking throughout the day? Yes. So in addition to thinking about what we're drinking and the sugar, added sugar in that, also think about what we're eating and the sugar in there. Can you get the recipe? Yes. Was the recipe available in the handout?
Yes, it is. It should be available, and I believe Nick sent out an email this morning or yesterday. So if you click on that handout link, you should have access to the water bottle one, infographic, as well as the recipe. I just went ahead and added just a little splash of milk and some spinach to my recipe just because I've had issues with the blender in the past. And it looks like Nick shared it.
Kathy, it looks like you went ahead and made one with us and you used almond milk instead of regular milk because of milk allergies. That's great. You know, a lot of people don't realize you can have a milk allergy or lactose allergy, but you can still have yogurt, but you can't have milk sometimes because yogurt tends to be lower in lactose. So great. Looks like a bunch of people are making it.
Awesome. Don't forget you can freeze it too. I've done that too. So we have raspberries at our house, and I actually made a treat with some yogurt and some frozen berries. So it's really good to play with the recipe. Like you mentioned, you can change up the milk too if you need an alternative. So there we go. So hopefully you can see that survey, that QR code, and Bridget will drop it in the chat for me as well. And then we do have some Facebook pages that you can, or social media pages that you can follow us. Again, I mentioned I'm split between Ada and Canyon County. So you can visit our social media pages to find out about our upcoming events. We thank you for joining us.